AEW President and CEO Tony Khan has reportedly been in the weeds more creatively as of late for AEW television. WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle opens up and gets candid about the Perc Angle nickname. Tessa Blanchard said she would be down for facing WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. An update on Jacob Fatu destroying Braun Strowman during Saturday night's main event. A special Dead Man Rises edition of WWE 2K25 has been announced. Julie Hart provides a health update following her shoulder injury, an update on Riho's status in AEW, Sheamus gives credit to Bron Breakker after their match at Saturday night's main event, and several matches have been confirmed for tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with creative in All Elite Wrestling. Now, an update on Tony Khan's current status as part of AEW Creative following this past weekend's Collision Homecoming episode on TNT. Over the years, while various names have joined All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan has remained the head honcho in terms of creative in the company. However, in recent months, it's been reported that more names in the company have been taking some of the creative wheels from Khan, including Jon Moxley's running of the Death Riders story and RJ City's running of Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May's story. AEW returned to Daily's place for this past Saturday's episode of Collision, which featured the big return of Timeless Tony Storm, as well as Konosuke Takeshita facing off with Katsuyori Shibata and Kazuchika Okada facing Commander. In an update from Fightful Select, those within AEW were pumped for this past weekend's show, which they feel did really well. It was also reported that Tony Khan is said to have been, quote, in the weeds more creatively as of late. Now, this has certainly been doing the rounds on social media, and that's WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle getting candid about the Perc Angle nickname. Now, WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle has never shied away from discussing his battle with addiction. After a neck injury in 2003, Angle became dependent on painkillers, a struggle that led to a chaotic period in his life. Angle appeared on Insight with Chris Van Vliet and opened up about the fan-coined nickname Perc Angle, a play on his name and the painkiller Percocet. While the nickname has gained traction online, Angle was quick to clarify its origins and also opened up on social media about the use of the name.
Fans seem to like to blame it on the painkillers. You know the nickname, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of the nickname?
You know what? I know that fans, it's almost like they want me to feel good about it. Like, it's the fans are having fun with it.
Yeah.
Because I was the best wrestler in the business.
Absolutely.
So, they want to say that, Kurt Angle was Perc Angle. That's why he was doing it, because he was all perked up. The thing is, I didn't use painkillers while I was wrestling. I did them in the morning, and then at night I would wrestle, and then I did painkillers after I got done wrestling. So I never wrestled high.
Were you in a lot of pain when you were wrestling?
Yeah, I was in a lot of pain. I got introduced to painkillers in 2003 after I broke my neck the second time. And not only did they mask the pain, but for me, they made me feel really good. I mean, I knew I liked it. Like I was like drawn to it. Like, wow, this makes me feel energetic, And so I know that's kind of the euphoric feeling you get with that, but I loved it, and I knew right away that I'm going to have a problem with these.
People seem to have this misconception that that's why you wrestled so well in TNA.
No, listen, you can't wrestle messed up. It's going to be sloppy. You've seen people in the past that have wrestled high.
Yeah.
They people are like, "What's wrong with them?" And so you can't do that. It's almost impossible, especially to have a good match. You have to be sober, or you're not going to have a good match.
What have you done to repair your reputation? Like you said, you wanted to go back to WWE in 2016.
Yeah, they didn't want me
because of your reputation. Mm-hmm. But look at you now. Nobody thinks about Kurt Angle in that light anymore.
Well, I stayed clean for 14 years. Time always helps. When you're not in trouble and you're out of the the eye of going against the law, and you show that you got your shit together.
Yeah.
People start to forget it.
Yeah.
The the only time they remember is when they say, "Hey, remember Perc Angle?" So, that's one of the things that, I still have to deal with, but I understand that, for the fans, it's more of a term of endearment. How great was Perc Angle? He was awesome.
Yeah.
So I know they're not saying it to try to hurt my feelings. Even though
But does it hurt your feelings?
Yeah, but I know they don't mean it.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm okay with, if they say it. I don't want them to say it to my face, but it is what it is.
Does it hurt your feelings because it reminds you of a time you don't want to remember?
It's a time where I was in a dark situation in my life, and that is the part I don't want to remember. All the trouble I got into, the divorce I had, and and just a lot of things that were going on in my life that I don't want to remember anymore.
Now, Kurt Angle after this went on social media and he said, quote, "I've noticed the Perc Angle nickname trending on social media. While I know it's made in jest, it reminds me of a time when I struggled deeply with addiction and mental health challenges. Those memories are painful, but they also fuel my commitment to helping others. I've been clean for 12 years and have since built a life dedicated to purpose and service. Addiction destroys lives, but it's never too late to get help. I appreciate all the positive feedback and support. To my fans, thank you for never giving up on me. I love you all. Kurt Angle." Now, Tessa Blanchard, of course, she's back in TNA wrestling, and she says she'd be open to facing Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. Now, former TNA World Champion Tessa Blanchard returned to the company at TNA Final Resolution, and she defeated Jordynne Grace at TNA Genesis. With WWE's partnership with TNA, any number of dream matches are now possible, and fans have buzzed about the idea of seeing Rhea Ripley potentially face some TNA talent. Speaking on the D-Loco podcast, Tessa Blanchard was asked about a potential match with the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. She said, quote, "She's phenomenal. I've watched some of her matches, and we actually did the first ever Mae Young Classic for WWE together. But she was a different Rhea Ripley then. She was blonde hair, still tall, still built, still phenomenal in the ring, but she has just transformed into this absolute powerhouse over there. So yeah, I would be down for that." So could that happen in the future? Well, of course, there is this multi-year agreement between WWE and TNA, so anything is certainly possible. Now, Saturday night's main event over the weekend, we saw Jacob Fatu absolutely destroy the monster among men, Braun Strowman. The highly anticipated match between Fatu and Strowman was held at Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas on January 25th. The match ultimately ended in disqualification, however, after Jacob Fatu threw the referee out of the ring while an official tried to desperately check on Strowman following several hip attacks in the corner. Although Fatu lost the match via disqualification, he continued to attack Strowman after the bell, hitting the former Universal Champion with 3 moonsaults as WWE security failed to restrain the Samoan werewolf. Jacob Fatu eventually left as WWE's medical team checked on a bloodied Strowman. On another day, the segment, though, may have lasted longer, as Fightful Select has reported there were calls for Jacob Fatu to hit more moonsaults on Braun Strowman at Saturday night's main event. One of the security team who tried to restrain Jacob Fatu at the event was Jesse Funaki, the son of SmackDown's former #1 announcer Funaki. The younger Funaki and the rest of the security team were brought in from the Hybrid School of Wrestling, a pro wrestling school in San Antonio. Jacob Fatu has been booked strongly ever since he debuted in WWE last year. WWE booking Fatu so strongly led to a furious reaction from former WWE superstar Baron Corbin, who revealed that he became upset after a head WWE writer said they needed, quote, bodies for the Samoan werewolf. Now, The Undertaker will be in a special edition of WWE 2K25. The Undertaker has been announced as one of the cover stars for the upcoming WWE 2K25 video game due for release later this year. The reveal was made on the official WWE Games Twitter account, along with our first look at the Dead Man edition. As can be seen on the screen, the image features The Undertaker against a full moon against a dark sky, along with a tweet reading, quote, "The dead man rises again. No one escapes the darkness when The Undertaker arrives. Rest in peace or don't. Hashtag WWE 2K25. The official WWE 2K website has promised an announcement is incoming for the upcoming game, stating, quote, WWE 2K returns bigger, bolder, and better than ever in a breakthrough year for the franchise. WWE 2K25 is preparing to charge down the ramp with all the authenticity and action fans love from the best in sports entertainment." Discover game-changing features, iconic superstars, and more details on January 28th, 2025. Now, Roman Reigns has previously teased a WWE 2K25 announcement for today on January 27th. Of course, we get any more details, we shall indeed let you know. Julia Hart, a bit of an update on her after she recovers from a shoulder injury. Last year, Julia Hart sustained a shoulder injury that she reportedly worked through heading into her AEW Dynasty match against Willow Nightingale. After surgery and months of rehabilitation, the former TBS champion is now back in action with a recent pair of matches against Jamie Hayter under her belt. While appearing on the Takedown on SI, Hart provided an update on her health, particularly as it relates to her shoulder. She says, quote, "I feel fine. I didn't even think about my shoulder with the first match with Jamie. I had a torn labrum in my right shoulder is what the injury was. I didn't even think about it in the match. I was just so focused on beating up Jamie. If anything, my back hurt, but that's nothing to do with my shoulder, so I felt really good." According to Hart, the healing time following her surgery spanned about 3 months. Hart, however, wanted to ensure that she came back with full strength and mobility. As such, she took some extra time to relax while also continuing to train for her eventual return match, which came against Hayter, a former AEW Women's World Champion, on the January 1st episode of AEW Dynamite. Hayter and Hart met again 3 weeks later, with the former giving a nod of respect to the latter afterwards, saying, quote, "I'm lucky that I'm young and I fixed it now instead of going down the line having more problems," Hart said. "I just worked really hard to get that strength back up and have mobility, and it paid off. I'm glad I took more time than I needed so that I was 100%. Now, speaking of the women's division in AEW, a bit of an update here when it comes to Riho. Now, Riho hasn't wrestled since July of 2024 when she defeated Lady Frost on AEW television. During the match, she sustained an injury and hasn't appeared on AEW television since. Prior to that, she hadn't wrestled since March and only had 8 matches since mid-August 2023. Now, Fightful Select are reporting they have been told that Riho was actually at AEW's World's End show and was in the ring training ahead of the show. Fightful say they're not sure where she stands on a potential return, but of course, if we get any more details, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, Sheamus has given some credit to the Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker after their match this past weekend at Saturday night's main event. Sheamus and Bron Breakker battled it out for the IC title this past weekend on NBC. Breakker came out victorious and he delivered a spear so hard that Sheamus gave him respect. Taking to social media, Sheamus posted a clip of Breakker as he hit the spear, which came out of midair as Sheamus leaped off the steps, saying it was the hardest spear he's ever taken. He said, quote, "Credit to Bron Breakker, this was the hardest spear I've ever taken." Now, of course, Sheamus was still unfortunate in not winning the Intercontinental Championship, the one title that has eluded him in his WWE career and is preventing him from being a Grand Slam champion. And finally, it's Monday, which means another edition of Raw on Netflix, and more matches have been added to the January 27th episode of the Red Brand Show. WWE Monday Night Raw General Manager Adam Pearce announced on Instagram that Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre will go one-on-one on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. This follows Sami and Drew having an altercation on last week's Raw following Drew's match with Seth Rollins. Also, Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Naomi will face off with the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan just 24 hours before they defend against Lash Legend and Dakara Jackson on WWE NXT. Other matches that have been confirmed for the show is the World Tag Team Championships on the line as the War Raiders defend against the Judgment Day's JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. Logan Paul will make his WWE Raw debut. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes is set to appear as well. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. A reminder, there will be a live watch-along this Saturday beginning at 10:45 UK time for the Royal Rumble. We're going to be watching the show and having a post-show. So be sure to join us there. Click the like button, be sure to subscribe, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.